Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back, and today we're doing the Legacy Showcase Challenge. This was the final event before the bannings that happened this morning. I'm recording this deck tech after the bannings have been announced, but I did the event yesterday. The reason I'm recording this deck tech is my original first 2 rounds of the video got garbled by technical difficulties, but I'm doing this deck tech, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I won both of the first 2 rounds. I beat Blue-Black Tempo, and I beat Rug Delver, and I beat them in style and pizzazz. They were awesome games. I really wish I could share them with you. One of the games against Blue-Black Tempo, we literally both had 0 seconds on our clock, and I won by like a split second, basically. It was an incredible game. But this is what the deck looks like. It's the same deck I've been playing recently. The only difference is I've added 2 halflings to it, and I have gone ahead and removed some. I've removed one of the lands, and I have removed the Calder Complete. So we still have 3 equipment pre-war. We have Aegis. This is a great card, just being able to get removal on command and then being able to essentially vial it in uncounterably. It's awesome. And then we have the Nadu combo, of course, which comes up in a lot of games. It's about like half the games end with us just Nadu valuing, and a lot of them end in us just hitting with Plagon and flipping the toughness on a lot of creatures. But this deck has been an absolute blast to play. It's unaffected by the bans. So we go up against a few decks that do have cards that were affected by the bans. We go up against Eldrazi. We go up against Blue-Black Reanimator. I faced that twice during the event. But I did capture 5 of the rounds, and I encourage you to watch those. Unfortunately, the replay system on MTGO seems to be broken, so I can't do replays of the first 2 rounds. So we're going to jump straight into round 3. Enjoy. We're back for round 3 against Kate. We're on the draw. We're up against a likely Reanimator opponent. They play like the mono black Reanimator style. Well, I mean, if they're actually playing this is from a few days ago. Interesting. So it's definitely like all out Reanimator. There's no plan B here. The plan is to get stuff in the yard and bring it back. They have Goro's Vengeance. They've got a lot of instant speed, graveyard recursion, collective brutality. They don't. They do have the 4 Entomb. 4 days of protection, 4 Force of Will. Okay, so this is like Blue-Black Reanimator, except they're putting stuff, and they can put an Emrakul in and bring that back, which is very scary. And Gristlebrand, so they can do the 10 fins kind of thing with Children of Corliss. Okay, so also I want to comment that I think we keep this hand. This is a great hand against them. I'm going to keep. So double force, double blue card. We can even drop a Tomio and start potentially drawing cards. I do want to note that like the previous round, first round, I had my mic off. Second round, my hard drive filled up. Like I needed to go and delete a bunch of stuff. So my video may have frozen halfway through the round, but we won. We won both rounds, and I'll happily show the replays if MTGO lets me do that after the event ends. I don't think that's going to be possible, but they were insane games, and you'll just have to imagine how insane they were if you don't see what's going on. Okay, so this, I just let them take the Force of Will. So if they have like... I don't want to play out a Tomio turn 1 if there's a possibility that they have days. Okay, they took a Force, pretty predictable, because they do play 4 days. All right, now I can just wait a turn. So I'm going to Surveil end step, and then next turn I'll play a Tomio out because I want to be able to force with days through days protection. They're brainstorming. Round 1 is unfavorable, but round 2 and round 3, or game 2 and game 3, we are going to have a lot of cool tech we can bring in here. They're going to Thoughtseize to take our other Force. That's unfortunate. If we can find a Brainstorm to flip a Tomio, we can very quickly regrow that. But they've already successfully disrupted us. It's not possible against this player to Aegis our way out of it. They're not going to give us a window. Gristlebrand, once it hits the table, the game's over. So we are going to need to actually fight them on the stack. Halfling. Okay, so... in the exceptionally unlikely situation that we are able to resolve this Plagon, this is a good card because next turn we can Tomio and Delighted Halfling. Yeah, so I'm going to live in that world and just hope that they don't go for it yet. But I think we're dead. They did mulligan. It's possible they don't have it. But if we Plagon next turn, we draw a ton of cards, we flip Tamio, like we probably win from there. Entomb. Okay, they have to have a second black source to reanimate here. They do. They put Gristlebrand in the graveyard. Unfortunate. That's how they win. They disrupt, and then they had exactly the right combination of cards. They had a perfect mulligan, basically. So let's go ahead and just let them go. They've already seen our hand. We're not revealed. We can see how crazy they go here. Okay. Interesting. All right. So they're not going to go any deeper. They can swing, and then they can do more damage. I think we just we could attack, but then we lose Tamio. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And we'll draw 3 cards. And there's a possibility that we draw a plow, but there's a higher likelihood that they are able to counter it because they have lots of forces and dazes in their deck. Okay. So Tamio flips. Go plus. I'm going to... Am I going to throw another Tommy out just to block? So next turn we do have Aegis. It's going to be way too late though. But like, let's pretend that somehow we survive here. I can throw a Tamio. We survive a couple turns, but like I think there's an Emrakul in our very near future here. All right. So at the very least, I can regrow a Force of Will. I can Aegis, and then I can cast Aegis, and then I can force the interaction on it, but I just think it's way too slow. They're going to have a lot of life. They're going to be able to draw some cards here. They are opting the Thoughtseize here. They cannot take us off Stoneforge unless they have a second Thoughtseize. If they go for it, we actually have them dead on board now. If they draw. Entomb. This is probably Children of Corliss. Oh wait, Archon. They have Archon too. All right, so yeah, that's bad. I will just sack. Oh my goodness. And we'll discard this. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're just destroying us. This is why I said like Gristlebrand is effectively the Shuko wouldn't be terrible if we had the Nadu. We could get pre-war, but we can't cast it. Are we dead next turn? Let's see. They attack for 5. Okay, so what we can do is I'm just going to go like this. Stoneforge. This is something we can sack. We're in. So if I get pre-war, we can't cast it. If I get Assimilation Aegis, if we get Assimilation Aegis on one of our creatures, it's GG. But I don't think we're going to get that far, but I am going to grab it. Now, I'm going to play another Halfling. I'm going to go ahead and plus here. I am going to play the Shuko. If they counter it, it's not that big a deal. Like, just want to get my... Oh, no, now I have to discard the Aegis. That was a punt. That was dumb. Yeah, I should have discarded the Shuko. Because Aegis could have come in, and yeah, that was totally a punt. I mean, it's not like we were going to win anyway, but we're not just dead on board, and like now we have to draw exactly Nadu to survive here. And it's barely survival. But we could like draw into like a bunch of plows. Opting... Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. They should definitely attack with both. They're wavering, vacillating as to whether to attack. But let's see what they're attacking. So they are attacking Tamio, which means I just sacrificed Tamio. And sadly, I have to discard the Aegis, which, I mean, like, I could have freaking won. I think. Like, I just, Aegis here, uncounterably, then I equip, and then I attack, and they have to have a removal, which they probably don't have. They could have wasted. Yeah, but, like, we would have had the mana to do it. And then we Aegis here, and then we kill that with the trigger. It would have just been so clean. All right, let's do this. They've given us the window to do this. Actually, okay, so I want to have lots of white up. So we're going to go blue, green, blue, Nadu, uncounterable. I don't think they play a lot of removal. So we're going to get a lot of spins here. We just need... Oh, blow out city. And we're dead. Good game. Well played. All right. Yeah, uncounterable, but can be returned to hand. Yeah, very nice. I thought I had it. I thought I had like 8 looks. I'm going to draw some cards real quick just to see what we would have gotten. Would we have gotten a plow? We got some lands. That would have been good. Backup Nadu. We could have survived a turn cycle. Yeah, we wouldn't have gotten plow. Oh, we would have eventually gotten it, but it would have been 2 turns away, and they would have gained a ton of life, and yeah. I don't think we were winning. Okay, so Cage comes in. They're not playing red, so Hydroblast doesn't come in. We are going to bring in our force negations. I don't want to pull out Plow, but I am going to pull out the Prismatic Ending. I don't think it's good here. They could have like some juke where they bring in... Let's take a look at their likely list. Are they going to board into freaking... Please do this. Like one of these, I can beat Doomsday all day. Not necessarily, but like I hope they go into Doomsday because Force Negation addresses Doomsday just as well as it addresses reanimation effects. If they do that, then we would want to have Consigns, but I don't think it's correct. They're basically mono black. Okay, so this is an odd one because we don't want to pull out the Plows. I think Pre-War comes out because they're not going to be killing our stuff. I think we could pull out... Gosh, it's not clear what we pull out here. We need all our forces. We can go down on combo. If we just stop them, that's pretty good. So if we take these out completely. We take out the Shuko. Assimilation Aegis can stay. Then we could bring in a Consign, which could potentially stop... It's not good enough. I think we probably leave the Shuko in. But this way we have like a very high density of blue cards. Could take out the Hierarchs. Maybe we take out the Hierarchs instead of the Stoneforges. Stoneforge is good. We can take out this Mana Dork too, but it does help. Yeah, I'm not sure. What would I rather have? A Stoneforge? I probably would rather have Hierarchs than Stoneforges. Yeah, I'm going to do that. All right. Yeah, and whenever we bring in the cage, we have to bring out Pre-War because it doesn't work anyway. Not that they are going to be removal heavy. All right, we're on the play. We've got a Force Hand. We've got Halfling into Nadu. I like it. I think we do assume that like they're not going to Daze Protected turn 1 us, but they absolutely could. The question is, do we want to start beating face? Because Nadu does a lot of damage. I think we take it slow. I'm just going to Surveil. And this way, heaven forbid they have the nut draw. We can at least interact a little. Okay, we're going to get to Surveil. This is good. Surveil actually means we don't get access to green, so I'm not going to Surveil. Okay, that's not a great land to draw. I'm going to play this out. I'm just going to plop a Hierarch into play and chill. We could start trying to pull ahead with Tamiyo, but I think Hierarch is more important because we will be able to play a Nadu next turn and keep Hierarch and Nadu's pressure. And we have material in case they get Archon. They'll make us sacrifice one of our creatures, but we can not sacrifice the Nadu. Brainstorm's fine. I would force an Entomb, but I can't actually force a negate on Entomb here. Okay, they're cycling a Troll, so we might actually have to fight a Troll, which would suck. I didn't think that I didn't see that in the previous list, but they reveal Underground Sea here. They're able to break their Brainstorm with that. No, they did that. Yeah, I think they did that before they drew. So they could put away some bad cards. I'm totally fine with Troll coming down, though. I think we can race Troll if they reanimate that. Okay. Shuko. What a freaking nut draw. Holy cow. I mean, we're going to get a bunch of cards. They could totally have days. I think we do want to be safe here. As much as I just want to go for it, I think it's wrong. Because they daze Shuko and then we're just sitting there totally vulnerable to Force Negation. But I will go ahead and Nadu here. They force. We can't protect. I'm just going to chill for a turn cycle. They pitch Borrower. So they do have interaction. I mean, they may just be on blue-black Reanimator, but like they were playing some... Yeah, I mean, like everything they've shown us has just been blue-black Reanimator so far. Entomb needs to be countered. Or we could just fight over the reanimation effect. They're down to 3 cards. Troll is not the end of the game. Archon is. If they reanimate Troll, we have lots of answers to Troll. Also, there's a possibility that they discard before... Yeah, I'm going to just be conservative here. And I'm going to keep Tamiyo because she digs us to... she's going to help us refill our hand and break parity. Okay. They're at 18. We need to start attacking them to get them out of range. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to empty my hand. Shuko. Tamiyo. Equip. Swing for 2. They can 100% reanimate that Troll, but we won't be able to erase that, but we will be able to eventually dig to answers. What are the odds they have Bowmasters? I'll just wait until they put a Bowmaster on the stack. I can't crack a clue. Never mind. I don't have a clue this turn yet. That's fine. So we have Surveil trigger here. I'm feeling pretty vulnerable. Would love to find a freaking Grafdigger's Cage, especially now that they pitched their Brazen Borrower. Okay, Reanimate on Troll. They're going to get the first attack. Cracking this does put us on a 3-turn clock, but I'm going to have faith in our deck. They have a Wasteland. I think they're just on straight blue-black Reanimator with like a few tiny changes. Like the Griselbrand. Nadu. Let's go find a Nadu. Let's not tap our only green source if we're going to try to find a Nadu here. We can just plow. I think we just plow and we draw the Force. Let's come in for a hug. They have nothing to reanimate in their graveyard, which feels good. Next turn we have Hardcast Force Up, which I don't think we use. I should have played the Halfling first. It sucked to have to keep that, by the way. It's not what you want to do. They're reanimating our Tamio, which is fine. That is a blocker. We don't have a way to get that back into our hand. So they can start creating clues. Well, since we don't have a good attack, at least we have a Force. And we just have to tread water for like 2 or 3 turns. All right, please let me cast this Force this turn so I don't have to hold up mana. They're not? Okay. So we're going to play our Halfling here, and this is going to allow us to attack for more. I'll be very sad if they have Bowmaster here. What is this? Oh, they're Hardcast Force? That's great. That's great. Okay, yeah, I don't really care about that. So I'm tapping off. They are going to have 2 cards next turn, though. They have their engine going. We don't. We need Nadu to break open the game for us. We're drawing fresh. They can flipper this turn. If they don't realize the interaction, they can give us a flip Tamio. Any Brainstorm, anything like if they're doing like, that's fine. Entomb would be very scary. Barragoyf is pretty terrifying. Now we need to solve that. Let's Brainstorm. Nadu still does it. If we can find a Nadu. They're hellbent. Grafdigger's Cage is good. Actually, yeah, Cage and Plow are fantastic. Do I want this? Not really. Put this back and we plan to shuffle. I'm going to go ahead and Plow here. Easy decision. And I'm going to drop a Cage. Next turn I draw and I have a bad draw where I have to, but it's okay. We're in a pretty good position right now. Man, I'm like, my heart is racing. This is really intense. If they drop another Barragoyf for something, it's really bad for us. Clue crack. They can't crack another clue or they give me a flip Tamio. They know that. They're not, because they would have probably cracked a clue by now. Some that they haven't wasted me off green. I think that is correct. 2 cards in the grip. Okay, Duelist of the Mind. Flying, Vigilance. Duelist of the Mind equals the number of cards you've drawn this turn. Whenever you commit a crime, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Okay, well, this is a 2/3 flyer. It's not a really strong clock, but it is something we need to... I mean, it basically stops us from being able to attack here. I would love for them to bother discarding us, so I think it's fine to hold this for a turn. Oh, no, wait. We have a bad card on top. We have a Force. We need to attack, or we need to shuffle. All right, they have created a ton of clues with Artamio so far. They're drawing a card. I think... Whenever you commit a crime. Okay, they haven't committed a crime yet. They have to be careful not to commit crimes. Okay. Get another Trop. Gonna be patient. Please, Nadu. Our own Tamio is fine. We're gonna chill. Our top decks are way better than theirs, but they have a lot of clues they can crack here. They're being very careful with the Tamio. But if they draw like a Brainstorm or something, they basically just can't cast it. Okay, that was very good timing. They're able to kill our Tamio without triggering the flip of the Tamio. Yeah, they're playing very well. Unlike me throwing away freaking Aegis, which could have gotten us out of a terrible situation. So I definitely punted game 1 and now we have to win game 2 as a result. This Duelist of the Mind will get big eventually. Oh, never mind. It's equal to the number of cards you've drawn. I thought it was the total number of cards in hand. So it's not going to get big. It'll stay pretty small. It's attacking for 1 each turn. So we have tons of time. But if they do find another Brazen Borrower, they can remove our Cage, and they can. I presume they play 2. They've seen a lot of their deck at this point. They didn't shuffle. They have a land to shuffle. Okay. Another clue. So they're essentially looting and drawing a card every turn. So they are very much compensating for, and we're drawing like 1 card a turn. Like, again, Nadu cracks it open if they don't have freaking... All right. I mean, we could just plow this Duelist of the Mind. I mean, sadly, I think Tamio is the actual card we plow here because she represents Okay, so what I'm going to do is I think we upkeep this. Yeah. If we plow this out of the way, plow this out of the way, we attack. We are hitting for 2. We have to do that a lot. They're going to fetch. They're going to do other stuff. I think I'm going to do it. And then I'll just plow here. And then worst case scenario, yeah, I'll plow this. I should have done this before attacking it. It's a very minor. Now they can hardcast Force if they have it. Okay, it's gone. They take 2. They drop to 11. Yeah. The fact that they didn't shuffle tells me they probably have Brazen Borrower and we're probably dead. They draw. Maybe they just wanted to keep 2 of the 3 cards. We've got the tiniest little clock, but they had 0 power, so I was like, I'll just go ahead and hit that. And yeah, they're drawing the other clue. Okay. So they've got 5 cards in their grip, and we've given them those. We could have interacted earlier if we want. All right. Another clue. The lower we get their life, they probably don't have a way to gain life in their deck. There's another Beargoyf. Okay, so now, Nadu still does it. Nadu's still insane if we can find a freaking Nadu. Come on, Nadu. Or Plagon. Plagon's good too. Another halfling. That's not going to do it. Unfortunately, like we can throw one of these creatures in front. I think I'm going to play this out and see what they do here, but I think it's a very high likelihood they're gaining a bunch of life, undoing a lot of our hard work. Okay. Doesn't really matter. I am going to block with the Hierarch. I think that's less important of the 2. And this game is very much slipped away from us. Like our value deck just refusing to give us the value. We've drawn a Nadu. We haven't seen a single Plagon. We haven't seen... we've seen plenty of cards to stay alive, but not any cards to pull ahead. There's the clue. Yeah, this is absolutely painful game because I'm not sure how mid-range they went. We did see Entomb. We saw Reanimate, so we know they didn't go full mid-range. That's game. Good games. I can't beat losing my entire board. Yeah, well, you Beargoyf and Tomio. That was just devastating. Embarrassing. All right, but we are 2-1. So even though you may not have been able to watch the first 2 rounds, they were exciting, and I played very tight, I assure you. All right, see you in round 4. All right, make sure my hard drive was completely clear. Mic volume should be good. We're ready to record without error. We are currently not doing that great. We're doing fine, I guess. We can still potentially top 8. It'll be hard. It's a pretty big tournament. 285 players. Yeah, we're going to need to not drop a single game. 9 rounds. My goodness. Okay. Well, I wanted to go swimming today. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I do. Okay. We're up against Mortrid. They're almost certainly on Reanimator, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I guess we have a positive Reanimator matchup. It's just I'm kind of tired of playing against it. Okay. So how do we feel about this hand? I mean, like, I'm inclined to keep it. We could force to protect the Hierarch. This is if we draw a land and we have a Hierarch, we're in a good position. We have double force, double Plagon. I think what we do is we keep this and then we attempt to, we just have to protect the Hierarch. I don't want to mull. I mean, this hand is fine. We have lots of interaction to Entomb. They mull. They could be on anything. I mean, but like recently, like as of yesterday, they were playing Demir Reanimator. They finished 4th in the challenge. It's going to be a tough match. They're playing 3 Brazen Borrowers, a Murktide. They're not playing any. Yeah. I guess the question is, do I actually force to protect this if they force? I can't imagine a world in which they force this, but yeah, I guess I do. So we don't have to worry about Bowmasters in the entire 75, which is great. Tainted Indulgence, terrible card, but I guess a good way to get creatures in your graveyard. 2 Murktides. Okay, so yeah, like this will be challenging. We don't have that many plow targets, so hopefully they won't overload our plows. This is one of those matchups where we get almost nothing. Okay, please be a land. All right, I'm just going to ponder here and try to find a land. This is I'm going to halfling. We have Nadu, which combos. I'm going to halfling and I'll force to protect halfling. Crazy, but necessary. They're going to daze. Pitch a Plagon. I want my halfling. Brainstorming is fine. I am like all in on resolving a Plagon and drawing 3 cards. And now we can do so uncounterably, assuming this resolves. Are they going to force? They're going to force. They opt not to force. They opt to force. Okay. So, I mean, this sucks. We're all in on this Plagon. We're all in. 100% in. Draw 3 cards. Get Nadu going. All right. This is assertion. And we're up against a deck that can just Entomb Reanimate. So we have to be careful. But they shouldn't be able to counter either our Plagon or our Nadu now. Our top card is Nadu. We could just get Nadu on the table. Fatal Push. Okay, now we can't do Jack. We're screwed. We're totally screwed. We're just sitting here. Yeah, okay. Well, this is... I should have attacked for 1. There was no reason not to. Yeah, I made the high risk, high reward play. I didn't think about getting blown out by a single card. Fatal Push. So we're drawing again. I am going to attack here. There's always the chance that we draw a land and then we're just back in it. All right, no Bowmaster. It's risky to... I mean, they could be playing Bowmaster. They haven't played Bowmaster recently. Petty Theft. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, that slows us down, but they don't have Entomb Reanimate yet that we know of. If they do it now, then we're super dead. All right, and they can now daze our Halfling. We worked so hard to get that Halfling into play. I'm going to just risk them dazing. That way I have uncounterable next turn. Do they have the daze? All right. Fatal Push blows this out. They can play out their Very here and start attacking. That's fine. Nadu will be fine if we can... So I think we probably do go for Plagon next turn just to draw the cards to ensure that we draw into a land. Reanimate on our Hierarch? Sign me up. I am not worried about losing to combat damage here. As long as they don't have a Fatal Push, that would be bad. All right, I'm trying to think of why they would do that. Like just for damage? All right, now we're getting the lands. I want to keep this blue land. I think it is correct to go ahead and Nadu first. Just because it increases the size of Plagon. And now we have guaranteed Plagon as well. Nadu. All right. I definitely sense a Wasteland coming. But they'll draw and see what they get first. Oh, they're just going to do it now? I think that's a misplay. Like, you should just wait. They can hit us for another 4. I'm not going to block. They could Kaito here. That would be surprising. But they've already reanimated, so I seriously doubt they have Kaito. All right. Here is where we start taking over the game. Plagon will draw 3 cards uncounterably. Can we find a white source? We do find a white source for next turn. So we can attack in. Yeah, I'm just going to attack. Reduce their life. Next turn we can start Plagon Nadu spamming. And we can plow if we need to. But, I mean, there's still like a window where they get Entomb Reanimate here. And Archon would be a beating still. There's a very real chance that they have like a plow in hand. Or, I'm sorry, that they have a force in hand. Okay, there's the Entomb. If they do the tracks, yeah, there she is. Reanimate. They're taking a lot of damage here. Okay, so they go to 6. We can plow her out of the way, assuming they don't put a force out there. We can Stoneforge for Aegis, and then we can put that into play if they don't counter the Stoneforge, because they may not counter the Stoneforge. And then we just have Nadu to chump for a turn cycle. And then we Aegis here, and then we have a 7/7, and we equip, and we're swinging for 7 and gaining 7 life. And I think that'll do it. Let's see what they have. Archon. They cannot discard Archon to hand size, which is nice. They are pretty far away from hardcasting an Archon. They don't have a force. They have a Thoughtseize. They can play land Thoughtseize. This is a ball game. This game has been crazy. Like questionable play after questionable play for me, but I'm still somehow alive. 5 cards in my hand. They Thoughtseize. They definitely take the swords. I can't imagine a world in which they don't take the swords. Then we Stoneforge. We grab Aegis. We block with Nadu, assuming they can't remove it. I don't see any removal in the cards they revealed. They could have something in their hand, though. Then we can chump. We Aegis. We start swinging, and we're going to win. We are going to take 3 from this, so we will be low. We will need to get the Aegis out immediately. We're going to also take damage from this, too. So we'll be within Archon range. Murktide is a problem. They could, in theory, just jam on Murktide right now. I don't think we can win. We could plow the Murktide, chump the Atraxa, and we still have mana to go get... yeah, I'm just kind of thinking out loud because they're taking a really long time to resolve this. They've taken like 3 or 4 minutes already, but it's important. Interestingly, they're not going to get an instant, it doesn't look like. They can get a creature, which will probably be Murktide. They can get a land, then they can get a sorcery, which is either Ponder or Thoughtseize. So it's just a 3 card, if I'm reading this correctly. Super lucky for us. I think what we do, this may be greedy, but we could just Stoneforge for the actual Shuko, and then we have 8 triggers. We could definitely plow the Atraxa. Okay, they chose Murktide, Ponder, Wasteland. They opted to waste. Okay. And Murk. All right. So their hand is Ponder, 1 unknown. Okay. Let's see if we draw. Okay, so here's what I think we have to do. We go ahead and Stoneforge. We grab Shuko. We Shuko. We get 8 flips to find a land that we use to plow. I think that's fine. We're dead. They said, are you happy? I didn't think the Thoughtseize route. I don't know that it would have mattered. Let's go ahead and... yeah, we're going to fetch... I don't think we fetch a basic. I think we just go get a Tundra here. And we're just going to hope that they don't have Daze or Force as their last card. If they do, we're dead. I don't think there was a significantly safer path. Okay. Always yield. All right. We just need a freaking fetch out of these 8 looks. We need a fetch so we can waste. Or, okay, there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and do it before I move on. Okay, now I have 2 white sources. I just need to find a second plow. Prismatic Ending is fine. It's not great. Okay, let's think about this for a second. We can play a halfling. That gives us 2 additional looks. And then we can end this and we can plow one of these and then we just chump. I don't like that. Oh wait, I can chump with Tamio. I'm going to play Tamio because I'll definitely need her either way. She's a chumper. Okay. Now we can just bounce this back to hand. We can plow here. We can end this. Do we not have another? I thought we had Savannah. Did we already get that wasted? We can't get rid of this. So we can only get rid of one of these, but let's get rid of the big one. They scooped. Yes. Yes. What we could have done, I mean, they could have attacked in and lost not, but we had forces to cover everything. Yeah. All right. Our clocks are basically even down to the seconds. Yeah, that felt great. Okay. So cages come in for sure. Pre-war comes out because it's blocked by cage. I don't think we make any other changes. I mean, how powerful is that? Like our opponent Murktided, they Atraxed. They had us like basically dead even before that, and we just were able to go like just fill up our hand, get everything removed. That felt amazing. Okay, and we still had Assimilation Aegis, which will be a cool card that we'll probably get to use in this matchup. I stopped tripping all over myself. There is an argument that like Noble Hierarch is less good here, just in case they bring in Bowmaster, which they don't currently have. They do have 1 Engineered Explosives, which is very bad for our deck. Douthies, no rod. No rod is probably coming in from their side, just to stop my 1 artifact. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Harbinger came in 2. They do have two Fatal Push, so we got pretty unlucky with that Fatal Push early. I didn't think it was likely that it would. I think Prismatic Ending probably comes out completely because it just doesn't stop a lot of their big threats. They're not playing Tamio. Like pretty much every creature in their deck, other than if they bring these Douthies, Beargoyfs. They may bring those in, but I think it's a fool's errand to try to fight fair against us. We're going to win that usually. Yeah, I think we just submit it like this. I want to use Aegis on them so bad. I just want to Aegis their... I've heard many people on the Stoneforge Discord tell me about how awesome Aegis is when you... Oh, look at this. So we're going to force pitch Tamio. We're going to stick our Grafdigger's Cage. All right, they're passing. So I will have to sadly force into this to protect the cage, but... I don't want to mess around. I think we just go get Island and Cage. I don't want to wait. Cage is a huge turn 1 windmill slam that necessitates interaction here. Yep, they're going to pay. Just don't daze it. At least let it be a force. Oh, Scoob! We're in. Yes. Now if they have Brazen Borrower, it's still going to take a turn. Yeah, that's fine. I'll let you Entomb now. We don't get to see the color drain from their face, but I imagine they were not happy about that cage. There's an Archon. So they have to borrow this out, and then they have to Archon. So that's like a multi-turn line. Plagon's great draw. I think what we do is we go ahead and get Tamio out because Plagon is insane with Tamio on the table. That does necessitate us pitching Nadu. I just don't want to get blown out by days here. We could even surveil with this land. Yeah, I mean, I could pitch Plagon in a pinch if they have the Brazen Borrower. They may have Force Protected Brazen Borrower. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to live in that world where there's a window. If they Brazen Borrower end step, we just force and then, yeah, that's fine. They're getting their value. They have 3 borrowers main deck. So a lot of respect for Cage. They also have Engineered Explosives. We have a lot of we have at least 4 cards in their deck that break the whole game open. If they can get Archon out, it's devastating for us. I love them brainstorming. I just need a few turns. We've got the combo in hand. I'm going to surveil this end step. Trying to find land number 4 and force number 2. That's scary. I think there's a decent chance they take the Nadu here. I mean, what do you take here? We have a lot of good cards. They probably take the force. They opted not to take the force. Tells me they don't have an answer to this. Because, like, if they did, they'd want to make sure that it resolved. Archive. We don't have a green source, which is unfortunate, but I wanted to dodge bad cards. We'll get there eventually. I'm much more apt to just Stoneforge here. This is a green source. We just go ahead and attack. I'm going to hold Nadu as a force pitch. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go for Stoneforge here. We're just going to get Aegis. They're forcing that. That is okay. Again, like we have force up, and that's the important thing. We have to stop Engineered Explosives. It's brainstorm. Man, they've brainstormed 3 times. They've gotten lots of card selection. They find another Thoughtseize. They can take us off that. If we get Nadu out, I mean, he is a good beater, and he can close games pretty quickly, and we can do it around days. Okay, they found a Wasteland. Thoughtseize. That's going to resolve. They're down to 1 card, but they only need 1 card and 1 mana to win. All right, so I'm not going to fetch. All right, Plow is a great rip. I'm going to play that out. I'm just going to come in for a hug. And I've already made my land drop. I'm just going to pass with the Clue activation up. All right, and I'm just going to end step this. They're trying to close the barn door on the Trop. Oh, there we go. I think we have to hold blue force card. We don't have to, but I think it's good to do so. So if we go green, we can Nadu, and we still have... the problem is... Oh, yeah, we just tap all these, and then we have Daze Mana up. So I'm going to attack first. I could play again and flip. I think that's probably actually fine. And then we have this. They can't waste it. We do have 1 more white land, or 2 more white lands we can go get if we need to. So this will flip Tommy, and we will draw 2 cards. That's a good card. She flips. Let's plus her. Let's play out our land. Feeling pretty in control here. They scoop. Boom shakalaka. Laka boom. That felt great. All right. We are 3-1. Yeah, that was awesome. That just shows you, like, clowning the most powerful deck in the format by a country mile. Again, this is like absolutely the best deck that everybody should be playing, and we just beat it 2-0, and that didn't even really feel that close. So we had force in our hand the entire time. Yeah, great games. See you in round 5. All right, round 5 begins. We are currently in 35th place. Not bad, but we'll see if we can hold that. 285 people playing this. Our opponent is not a legacy gamer. I haven't seen a single... Wait, legacy, what's this? This is from... man, they play a lot. Okay, yeah, this is potentially... I mean, this is a cool deck, don't get me wrong, but I would be surprised if they're on this. They're not a heavy legacy gamer. They may not be on it. This hand doesn't really work. I mean, it works if we find a green source. This is a forced blue card hand against an unknown opponent. We do have stuff to do. I think I'm going to keep this. I know this is weird, but like, even though none of our stuff does anything, like we have lands that we can play. We have a force effect. Ancient Tomb. Okay, this is Blood Moon. Bombardiers. Is Bombardier's the force? It's a 2 for 2. I'm just really afraid that they jam something more powerful next turn. I feel like if they had Blood Moon, they'd lead with Blood Moon. I'm going to force this. I don't want to like just get like Fury killed. Fury can like do like 9 damage basically. That's a great rip. So this fixes our hand, assuming they don't Blood Moon us. I am going to assume that we're going to Blood Moon. I'm going to dig deeper to something else, specifically like lands. We're looking for a basic land. We're probably just dead. We kept a really suspect hand, but I don't feel like if they just play Blood Moon here, there's not a lot we can do. But I feel like they would have led with Blood Moon. They could One Ring here, which is scary. Pyroglyph. Okay, we can live with a Pyroglyph. See, this is why we forced the first spell. Pyroglyph does some damage to us, and it is an attacker, but they would have been able to like throw this, which would have been devastating. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I could Brainstorm, but then I'm just kind of like screwed if I don't hit. If we Stoneforge, we can go get the Shuko, and then if we find a green card, we just go. This also invites them to essentially get rid of. No, they're low on resources. I'm going to try to Nadu my way out of this. I could, yeah, we're making a land drop either way. So assuming they don't Blood Moon us next turn, we do have access to Brainstorm. All right. So One Ring would be the scariest thing they could do here. If we had Kaldor, we would absolutely get Kaldor. Kaldor is the best thing you can be doing against their deck. The One Ring, okay. They don't have a lot of life. And Nadu can race the One Ring, but they're going to get 2 activations of the One Ring before we can do anything. They're coming in for a hug. We'll take 3. I'm going to keep Stoneforge up. There we go. There we go. Okay, so options. 1, we can Brainstorm away the redundant Halfling, and then we can also cast a second Halfling, and then we still have the combo. We're not going to be able to Shuko this turn anyway. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I like to find Force Blue card. Okay, Plow is actually really good here. So I'll just put this back. I can get a basic forest. I can get a basic island. I can do it like that. Now I'm just going to go get a Halfling caster, a green source. Yeah, and now we have green no matter what. Soon we'll have blue no matter what, but we are going to be able to cast this unless they Furious next turn. No point in attacking. I am going to go ahead and play the Shuko. No, I'm going to Plow. I'm giving them life, but it decreases the likelihood that they can just straight up kill us next turn. I could have waited. I probably should have waited. Yeah, I think that was loose. If they Fury here, they can basically, like, can they kill us with a Fury plus? Yeah, I think if they draw into Fury and Broadside, we're dead. And that wouldn't necessarily be the case had I just held my Plow like a disciplined person instead of freaking out and panic casting it to try to stay alive. So I'm not proud of that Plow. I think that if we lose it, it's probably due to that punt. Here's the Broadside. And then they just Fury and they kill us. Blood Moon. Well, we can beat this. Yeah, we can beat this. As long as they don't Fury us. If they Fury us, we can't beat it. Keeping us in suspense here. Oh, they had it. Okay, so we can't do anything really. Maybe just kill both of our permanents. Yep. All right, so if we draw exactly an island or another mana dork, we're still in it. They have more stuff? Chalice for 1. So brutal. Yeah, I like holding the Plow wouldn't have made a difference there. I don't think we missequenced. Yeah, we're just going to chill. There's still an extremely small chance that we draw out of this, but it's also unlikely that they don't find Broadside Bombardiers that they can use to throw the ring so they don't die to their own ring. Yeah, Fury is definitely a beating against our deck. We just have so many weenies that we have to get in play. And just to be clear, there was no window where we could have like Shuko'd and gotten Nadu in. There actually was a window. Okay, so what I could have done was instead of plowing the Baraglyph, played the Shuko at that turn, but we still would have lost the creatures and we wouldn't be able to play Nadu. We needed the blue source to play Nadu. And to be clear, like these lands came out, of our hand, I believe. We've only fetched one time and we did fetch a basic. So we're doing what we're supposed to do. We're just winning. 4 cards in my opponent's grip. They can always just play another ring to reset the ring and so they don't die to it. Fury Hardcast. This will make short work of us. All right, we need to draw Mana Dork now or land. Pre-war doesn't do it. Pre-war would be phenomenal if we had access to white. We've got 2 turns. I am going to take the draws. Play this out just in case if we get a go time moment, we're going to go for it. Mana Dork, actually with Mana Dork, there's no way we can win, I don't think. We need to draw exactly white land. If we draw exactly plains, we can pre-war, and then we can use Stoneforge as a blocker for a turn cycle, and then, yeah, we'll have white up to do other stuff. Not a great situation. Plains? Nope, good game. Okay, so now that we know it's Moon Stompy, we're going to completely change our playstyle and the kinds of games we keep. But I wanted to keep Force in the blind. And I wasn't sure that they'd be on Moon Stompy, but they did play No, they weren't playing Moon Stompy previously. So if you're new to Legacy, or if you don't play a lot of Legacy, Moon Stompy is a powerful deck that is relatively easy to play, in my humble opinion. Okay, so Force Negations, Hydroblast, Consigns could come in. Consign's not fantastic, but it does stop like a trigger. I have a freaking sideboard guide. What am I doing? Let's go look at my sideboard guide. So whenever I publish these, I publish a sideboard guide. Okay, and this is what I played at the Legacy Qualifier, but this is what my sideboard guide is going to look like here. So it's not exactly, like we made a few changes to our deck, but we can come down here to Moon Stompy. So I take out the Ponders, take out the Plagons and the Stoneforge, 1 Stoneforge and a Savannah. And then we bring in the 4 Force Negations, 3 Hydroblast, 2 Consign. Okay, so we don't need to take out one of the Stoneforges, I guess. We could leave that. Yeah, but I do think Ponder's a bad card. I think Ponder's not spectacular here. So Ponder comes out. You can definitely take out... I don't really want to take out Plagon. He's pretty damn good here because we have all these dorks. I will take out a Tomio. I don't really want to cut a land because I'm already down to 19. I went down a land since I prepared this sideboard guide. So maybe we do just take out a Plagon. I mean, Tomio's not great against them. Halfling is okay, but they're not going to get countering our stuff. Yeah, so we could do a split like this. Okay, and we still have 15 creatures, which is not a ton for Plagon drawing purposes. Maybe we... no, I want to have double Plagon just because he does combo with Nadu. Okay, let's do it. And the Consigns, like, you don't have to bring in the Consign. It stops One Ring. It stops some important triggers. Okay, this is a Hydroblast hand with Force. Double Force. Okay, so I think what I do is I keep, and we're going to trop into Delighted Halfling. Better yet, I could just hold up the Flooded Strand. Fail. I do think it's important, just in case they keep like a Glass Cannon hand, that we have lots of things. And if they kill one of our things, being able to bring it back is good. I'm going to keep this, even though we don't have Path to Basics. Hydroblast is so good. Okay. So, it's so tempting to just... Yeah, because any land gives us Plagon, and Plagon gives us a bunch of cards. I think I'm just going to chill, and I'll Surveil. Because we do need to find a second land. But it's not that important to find a second land. The important thing is they spend all this mana to get like these things out, like using Mox, potentially using City of Traders, using Spirit Guides and everything. And like you want them to go as deep as they can, and then you just answer that with 1 card. That's how you want it to go. Yeah, I'm not sure about this hand. Hydroblast is great for being able to like 1-for-1 their cards, but we may. What am I going to pitch to Force Negation? So first of all, I want a Hydroblast, but if they open Chalice, then that's pretty bad. We're going to have to force anyway. But as long as we keep 1 blue mana up, we always have access to Hydroblast on Blood Moon, as long as there's not a Chalice on the table. Yeah, if we pitch Plagon, then like that's like our entire game plan was around getting a bunch, because they do a lot of damage to themselves, and being able to hit for like 5 mana between a Halfling and a Plagon is a relevant clock. Our opponent may be doing more than 1 event because they've sat there with their 8-card hand for like several minutes. Okay. Right? Fireworks. They got 3 mana. Blood Moon. Well, I'm going to get a Trop here, and just, they could have a follow-up. We do have a Force if that happens. It's not letting me blast for some. All right, so they're down to 4 cards. We have Delighted Halfling, even if we don't draw a land. Okay, we did draw a land. That's great. And it's a basic. This is awesome. So next turn we have Plagon, assuming they don't disrupt this. So we will be pitching Force to Force. Then we'll be refilling with Plagon. Gosh, is this the fight? I don't think it is. I can bring it back with pre-war later. Don't chalice me. All right, I'm going to let that happen. I am aware of the risk, but we can pre-war, get it back. How many 1-drops do we have in our deck? Okay, so we have 22 1-drops in our deck. Oh, it feels so bad. Feels so bad. I mean, we're guaranteeing refilling our hand next turn. No, we're not, because we did let that halfling die. It feels terrible. I think we have to. It's just too many freaking cards turned off, including like a lot of our, good spells that we want to be casting against them. Okay, so we'll be exceptionally lucky if we draw land here. But if we do, I'm going to play again, or I'm going to pre-war. Nadu's a great draw. We're sitting still. We're sitting, we're dead in the water, basically. If they have, the One Ring or something to pull ahead. Just waiting for a land. There's the One Ring. Yeah. Yeah. I stand by my decision. I don't have any other option at this point. They've got 3 cards in hand. City of Traders. Okay. At least they didn't reach Alice. Okay. Deck, please give me a land. All right. We're in. So I think pre-war is the correct thing to do first, because then we play again and we get a bunch of cards. Pre-war actually, we still lose the creature to, but I'm gonna do it. So let's go get our planes here. We've got our main colors. We don't have access to green. We could Nadu first, and then Nadu's really scary if we pre-war it back. I think we do Nadu just because we're guaranteed to Nadu now, and if they Blood Moon, we're not guaranteed. And if they kill this, we've got pre-war to bring it back. They do have Dead Gone in their deck, so they can Gone it, but that does give us a trigger. 4 mana. I think they can easily kill it with a Pyroglyph if that's what they're doing. Fury. Oh, they played 5 mana. They pitched a Solitude. Okay, let's see what we flip here. A Force would be insane. Okay, we didn't get the Force. All right. I'm pretty regretting the Force on Chalice. We finally drew a card. Okay, the Trader dies. What are they going to do here? Oh no, they're going to hit us for so much with Broadside. No, Fable. Yeah, this is also bad. They're at 8. Pre-war can potentially, if they don't have an answer to Nadu, they're going to die in the air. All right, so we can even brainstorm first to see if we can find, what would we find? Hydro for this would be good. We're not going to be able to cast 2 things. Shuffling away, something might be okay. Let's see what we do here. Oh, this is great. This is great. So I do think we get back Nadu. Then we hold up Force. We don't have to shuffle any of the stuff away, which is fine, which is great. So I'm going to put this back. Plagon on top. I'm fine with pitching Consign to Force. And now we just stop there. Let's get our Nadu back. He's going to be a real menace. 5/6. They're dead on board if they tap that ring. Actually, they're dead if they don't tap it. So I don't think we block anything, because if we do, they could Fury again. I'm going to force the ring so hard. Broadside could still kill us, so we do need to force that. So I will force the ring and I'll force Broadside. They could sequence where they keep their, let's see, how much mana do they have? They're going to get a mana from this after combat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 functionally, plus their land drop for the turn. It's worth noting, if we get a turn, they're dead. So that answers that. But we do have Stoneforge for Shuko. Just going to let it through. We're going to take 8. They're going to need multiple Pyroglyphs here to kill us. I'm not going to fall for that. Another land that they would be very crazy to tap, but they might tap. Okay, so we're going to force this. They could, in theory, One Ring yet again with the mana they have. They could One Ring down to 2, then get the invisibility, and then they don't use the actual One Ring, but they don't have very many cards and they're 2 life. And they get 1 turn of protection, and during that turn, we assemble the combo. So I think we've won this game. They are going to One Ring again. No, what are they doing? It's worth noting that they are going to be able to do a lot of damage with Fable. Well, it's 2 turns away because it'll be somebody's like, okay, we got it. Wow, that was intense. All right, how do we feel about our sideboard strategy? I still think that I stand by all these substitutions. I think Tamio, just as a one of, is fine. Actually see how many, after the sideboard substitutions, how many one drops we have. Because I think I may have been in error. Let's sort by mana value. So we had 19 one drops. We didn't cast a single one that mattered. I do think I shouldn't have forced that Chalice. All right. I'm not going to make any substitutions. I do like having Prismatic Ending in the deck just as an answer for Chalice. And if they get Blood Moon out, an answer for Blood Moon if we have the right basics. So we're going to be on the draw here. Hard mode activated. This is not a favorable matchup. Any 3-color blue deck that's facing down like Moon Stompy was built to beat these types of decks that we're playing right now. Okay, this doesn't do it, in my humble opinion. Like, we get Blood Moon, and that's that. I'm going to mulligan this. I'm not going to even spend too much time thinking about it. We need basics, path to basics. We need force. This has everything. This is a keep. I'm going to, like, we can get all 3 of our basics. Aegis could be exceptional. Turn 1, we go get Forest, Halfling. Aegis can answer one of their permanents. We give up our path to... Okay, so I'm going to keep this. I think we give up our path to Island. I know that sounds crazy, but we will have Halfling, and that can cast most of our blue cards, and we can pitch cast our blue cards. We can choose to get either Forest or Island, but not both with this. Is this a slow start for once? Oh, don't chalice me already. Oh, Blood Moon. Oh, Fable. Okay, so Fable I think is worth forcing. They're down to 2 cards. This card is just insane against us. Against everything, basically. They're down to 2 cards. They've only got 2 permanent mana sources. They went really deep for that. Hydroblast is a great rip. They could, if they had Blood Moon, they would have led with it for sure. You always lead with Blood Moon, in my opinion. So we could just get Trop. I think I'm going to get Trop. And I'll cast the Halfling. This is a big decision. I want access to my colors. All right. They may not have a 3rd mana source. Whoa. Some serious luck. Check this out. Yeet Tamio out here and start taking over. Uncounterable while we hold up Hydro. Feeling good about this game. Now all we need is a Plagon. And Tamio flips and we draw 3 cards. That'll be insane. Still have Assimilation Aegis, which we can't cast under Blood Moon. Okay. Now this is a question. Do we fight? My instinct is to just fight here. Because this represents like a lot of card draws. If they're sold out. And they seem to be. Because they may not draw a land for their follow-up. 3 cards in hand. They're passing again. Okay, I feel good that we did that. Okay, Strand. This gives us access to our other color. Let's go ahead and come in for a hug. We can hug with both. I think it's worth getting their life lower. Furies doesn't actually kill both of them. It only kills one, which is nice. Now they have Blood Moon mana. Broadside would be annoying. They're going to Mox. Oh my goodness, they're going super low. Is this One Ring? All right, please give me Force Negation. In fact, I'm going to Surveil because I think it's so powerful if we can force this. Prismatic Ending doesn't do it. Give me a force. Please force. Okay, 8 of you. Okay, well, we do have Nadu, which is good. Yeah, they're immediately drawing. Now the race is on. We don't have, because we took that shot with the Meticulous Archive, we do not have the ability to, okay. So I can go ahead and attack, create a clue, and then I can flip her, and then we can regrow a Hydro, which is pretty good next turn. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll just get the Nadu out in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and use this mana, I guess. Brainstorm. Plagon. Seriously good card. And we got a land for turn. I'm going to put like Aegis. I'm going to put back Plagon. We'll draw him. Now we can play this land. We can plus here. Halfling here. Nadu. Next turn, we're going to draw a ton of cards. We're going to draw 4 cards. And I think that will help keep pace with the One Ring. And we don't even need to worry about Blood Moon at this point. It shuts off our cantrips, but it doesn't shut off us being able to cast our creatures unless they have Fury. Plagon also gives us like a serious attack. We're going to swing in for a lot next turn because we can buff our Nadu, we can buff our Halfling. We'll see what we draw. You got 4 cards in the grip. Lots of scary things they could do here. Broadside is not something I relish. Fury wiping our Delighted Halfling with Blood Moon would be extremely bad for us. I'm optimistic that we will rip a land off of Plagon. They're just going to hardcast the Fury. This is devastating. We do get a trigger, but we are not going to have all the power and toughness that we were going to have before. Please aim it all at Nadu. All right, that I can live with. All right, we get the trigger. They've got a fatty. Oh yeah, we have the Aegis. We can just we can just freaking kill them so quickly with this. All right, I'm going to draw first. We're going to get a land drop. I can also just regrow Hydroblast and deal with this. But I want to deal with this with the Aegis. So I Aegis this, and then I just equip, and I swing for 6. That seems devastating. I do want to draw cards, though, just in case they have something. So let's do that. I'm thinking so hard. I don't want to screw this up. Draw 3 cards. We don't have a blue card to go with our force. I do think we just want to minus and get the Hydroblast. If we do that, Stoneforge, we go get pre-war. Okay, let's ask ourselves, what plan is more reliable? I think getting Nadu back with pre-war is more reliable than getting this off the table. Yeah, I'm going to... Maybe I pick up the force here because we can take 6. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to go... Oh, I don't have double white, so I can't keep plow up. That kind of sucks. Maybe I could just throw this halfling in front of it. I'm playing incredibly carefully here. I know this game is mine to lose. Pre-war. Okay, so we can force... Yeah, I'm not going to attack. We can force on Broadside, which is the scariest thing they could do here. Gemstone Caverns. There's Broadside. I'm going to force it. They are probably just going to Hydro or Pyroblast this if they have it. It sucks to pitch Aegis like this when we know he's a clean answer to Fury, but we cannot have Broadside throwing Fury at us for 7 on top of, potential Fury damage. Okay, they're going to go to combat. I'm just going to chump. Again, I live in fear of getting blown out. Okay, so I think we just block with Plagon because these mana sources are necessary. We're going to have Shuko here in a minute anyway. Wait, what are they attacking? They're attacking her? Oh, I'm just going to let her die. That's fine. Oh, that is so huge. Okay, we're still alive. Force negation, good draw. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to be mana efficient here. White, green, pre-war. This is going to get back our Nadu. Okay, he's in. Now I'm just going to go get I'll Stoneforge and get Shuko. Do it like this, just Shuko. Now we get to go to town. We're almost certainly going to find interaction. We're looking at so many cards here. I don't think they have anything that just can stop this. Okay, they're just deading our creature. We get a Hydroblast. Okay, sure. So that's one less creature we'll be able to use Nadu on, or Shuko on. I'm going to play very carefully here because I've won the game and I can only screw it up. Okay, let's go ahead and do this again. Here. We got a Crocus now. Okay, another Pyro. That's great. We'll yield. 5 minutes on the clock. We can definitely do this. Okay, force now. Do over here. We'll yield. Pre-war is insane. All right, we've got like so many blast effects here. Okay, prismatic ending. Okay, so we could just play out another creature and get more triggers, but I kind of want to just blast here. Start swinging. Okay. Shuko over to here. We could get another creature out, I guess. See if we have enough lands to fetch. Tundra, blue, white, Stoneforge, failed to find. Got another land. Okay, another land. All right, we could do it again. We have a Savannah we can grab. I think it makes sense just to maximize the amount of value we get here. We have so many blockers now. Another force negation, sure. Okay, another land that doesn't fetch anything. Let's go like this. Let's go to combat. I'm just going to go ahead and swap the power and toughness here to do an extra 3 damage. We can pass. We have exactly 7 cards too. This works out perfectly. They're super duper dead on board. I can't imagine a sequence of draws off this ring that saves them. It's fine. We've got 19 cards on our deck too. That's another thing to keep in mind. They've got 7 cards in our hand. We can only stop 3 things. They don't have that much mana. Huge amount of mana going on in the pool. Well, I mean, we showed them that we had tons of forces. So I said we could stop 3 things. We can actually only stop 2 things. I think Broadside is the only card we need to stop. We also need to stop a 1 ring that can just keep them alive for a turn cycle. They're pitching a bunch of Simian Spirit Guides too. Do they have some uncounterable spell that I don't know about? I'm not sure exactly what they're doing here. It's very confusing. If they're just trying to do stuff to like try to run the clock out, hoping I'm going to go get a sandwich or something, that is a viable strategy. It's not a honorable one, but it won't get stopped by MTGO. Okay, so how does this work? 6 more Shatter Skull deals twice X damage divided as you choose. Okay, so they spent all their mana on this. I think I just force negation it, and I will just pitch. They knew I had a force. Am I missing something? Chalice of Void? Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to stop that. Another Chalice. Okay, I don't know what they're doing. So they're dead here. We just turn everything sideways. Yeah, good game. All right. So yeah, like didn't want to go out quietly, I guess, but we did win. So we're 4-1, losing only to Blue-Black Reanimator. We did beat Blue-Black Reanimator. We also lost to it. Yeah, feeling pretty good. We've got freaking, how many people are still playing? 285 people were in the match. Like probably a lot of them have dropped. Yeah, like all these gray ones have dropped, I believe. So we're probably looking at another several hours of Magic the Gathering. But if I get my second loss, I could probably drop because I with a tournament this big, you really do need to go X1, I believe. So yeah, see you in the next round. Round 6, we're up against Daphne 17. We're 4-1. Yeah, that's correct. Good luck to you, Daphne. We're on the play, which is great. His hand is freaking cracked as long as they're not on Moon Stompy. Well, actually, even if they're on Moon Stompy, it's not that bad. Well, see what they're likely on. They've been playing a lot of Eldrazi as of like a few days ago. So I'm going to presume they're on Eldrazi. They also play Blue-Black. That was like a few days before that. I don't really know what to think here. This looks like a really cool deck, by the way. Yeah, I'm just going to assume they're on Eldrazi. I think we get on the board with Halfling. Yeah. So I'm going to keep this. And we'll just try to get a Nadu out. And then it's a value Nadu. Like they have to kind of address it. It can beat them down. And when they do, we'll get a card for it. And it'll get the removal. It's possible that Halfling itself baits the removal. I don't mind losing my Savannah. So I'm going to leave with that just in case they waste. But like wasting into an Resolve Halfling is not generally a good strategy, in my opinion. But it can, you know, like if we kept an all-in hand on Halfling, that would make sense. But I'm going to get Halfling out before Days is viable, and then I can Tomio next turn around Days if I want, instead of not doing. Such a power move to show up like 7 minutes late. I don't know what the timeout point is. Anyway, I'm going to keep my head cool. We're going to stick to our plan of sticking a Halfling here. We're going to hope that they don't just turn one us. That'd be so frustrating. Because like the people that like just do that to your time and don't respect the fact that you're like sitting around waiting for them, precisely the kind of people that play like turn 0 combo decks. Ancient Tomb. Grim Monolith. Okay, so one of these types of decks. This could be Eldrazi. Eldrazi has been known to rock that recently. Nadu is something they could exile, sadly. I think we go Nadu. Green. Uncounterability. And again, I'm just sticking this like a more experienced Nadu player might be like, oh, but that's your freaking combo piece. Me, it's just like, this is a big dumb thing that is going to hit my opponent a bunch. If they K command this, it will be frustrating though. We won't have a lot going on if they K command. If this sticks, we can ponder and potentially find Stoneforge and go off the same turn. Okay, Ibogan, that's a very good card. Thana's here. You can take something from our hand. They can still K command. Just to be clear, they're clearing the path so they can K command Nadu out of play. Because K command's busted, and so is I. Being on the play, having a turn 2 Nadu, not necessarily enough. Crazily enough. Okay, let's see. Okay. Well, Plow just gives us our card back. I want to play this out. I do want to attack just to make sure that I get the combat through before they try to do something. Okay, they're taking it. That's good. All right, so far so good. Options. 1, we ponder. We could flip a Tamio this turn in addition to plowing. Stoneforge just, it doesn't, oh, it does end it because we can go get the Shuko. We can't plow though if we do this. I think it's worth it. Yeah, we're like throwing away so much value to get our, if they K command, it'll be so sad. We don't have any recourse. I'm going to get another Tundra. We're just going to go super, I should get a Trop probably for the redundancy. I think if they have K command, there's no way they wait this late, is my instinct. I think we actually got lucky and they didn't have it. And I kind of wish I had tapped to where I could plow their creature this turn. So this is essentially a turn 3. This is the fastest our deck goes. Whoa, Scoob! Beating Eldrazi. Feels good. Now we go to the sideboard where we bring in our artisanally crafted islands for our opponents. We're going to give them the gift of lots of islands. I'm getting some serious lag in my client. I think we're far enough ahead on clock we can just restart. Yeah, those are my changes for out. Let's take a look at my sideboard guide. I think this is another, you remove the ponders. -4 ponder, -1 Tamio. I can get behind that. I think we could probably get out 2 ponders or 2 Tamios. She's really not that great. Like you rarely have land to use the clues. You can occasionally flip her and do tons of damage. That might be the ponder that saves us when we're in some crazy top deck situation. No, I'm gonna go in because creatures with Plagon, like they're unlikely to be able to stop Plagon from resolving and stuff like that, and so we'll probably draw a lot of cards. And this is a flip Delver when you're attacking with it if you have Plagon outs. Yeah, that felt brutal what we just did to our opponent. And all they needed was a K command to break it up. This hand slaps. So we can force pitch Plagon. Yeah. I'm going to keep this for sure. And then what I think we have to do, I want blue much more than I want green. I'm a little bit worried about getting wasted. So this can be the white source, and then we can skip green for the rest of the game and use Noble Hierarch for our green. So I think we Trop, and then we get a Plains. If they waste us, that's like, okay, they mold Devour Destiny on the stack, okay. So it's notable that this can be cast. It costs a lot of mana. It's like a 7 mana card with double colorless in the requirements, I believe. So what I'd love to do is just turn 2 Jamma Harbinger, and then force to protect it. Okay, and they don't have the Chalice. That's great. Okay, Trop. That doesn't change anything, but I will lead on the Trop because I was going to get that anyway, and then I'm going to get the basic island. So we still have like the ability to shuffle, I guess. It's a serious lag in the client. I am excited to restart my computer, but I don't want to do it right now. All right. So I do think okay, this is scary. Scary time. Flesh Ricker. If we counter this, we can't protect Harbinger. But if we don't counter it, they're going to have so much colorless stuff. Unfortunately, they are a exile your cards type deck. It's sad that we drew this afterward, but I don't want to give them an inch. I'm going to go get the... yeah, and they may be able to dismember this. Let's get our Plains. Blue. How do you do? We're in. Dismember is what we're worried about here. This is Dismember. And then they can do other stuff like Sowing Mycospawn after dismembering. Again, I stand by my decision to get rid of their Glaring Fleshricker. Dismember is not a big deal because we have Stoneforge, which can get the other card. They can get it back from our grave. Yeah, there we go. So this is at least dying. But I'm worried what they do here. Okay, nothing. That's good. So we are going to have a turn where we're vulnerable to Sowing Mycospawn. So we do have 2 options. One, we just try to get Harbinger back out, and I think that is what we want to do. They already have Eye of Ugin out, which is just devastating if it sticks. Best draw would probably be just like a Force. Consign would be okay, or another Harbinger, of course, would be fine. They may exile our Noble Hierarch here if they have the K command, which is fine, because they're not going to be using the K command to get the Harbinger out of our yard, where we can get it back. They're going to be using it to create spawn tokens, probably. There we go. Okay, they get some spawns. I'm so glad I killed that Fleshricker. That would be an ordeal. We're still not clear because they can Sowing Mycospawn next turn if they find a green source. Okay, that's great for us. So we can just go get a forest here. And then we can Stoneforge. No, I don't want to get a forest. I'm going to leave this untapped and I'm just going to Stoneforge. And then we're going to try to go get pre-war. And this way, like even if they exile one of our lands, they could exile and waste. Yeah, we're going to get pre-war. And the only axis they can control us on now, I mean, they can still do it on a lot of axes, but they really have to stop pre-war. So I think they waste here, but we still, unless they Sowing Mycospawn, Sowing Mycospawn just ends the game basically, as always. Another wasteland. Okay. Is this, oh, Thought-Knot's here. That's pretty brutal. So they're going to take our pre-war. I can't do anything about this, but we do have Nadu. And we necessarily have Nadu. They can't stop it. Unless they can do this again, which they can. I mean, technically they could have a second one. But they have to take the pre-war here. Just a quick update on the Scry last turn. They did bottom. So that's not drawing gas here. No Rod is fine. No problema. I'm very glad that that is a card that our opponent chose to play. Hierarch. I think we just Nadu and then Hierarch and just empty our hand. And in doing so, empty our lands as well. We can race. They're 10. I'm just going to do this. Now they need Sowing Mycospawn to disrupt our mana. Hierarch. Nadu. Unfortunately, Hierarch Exalted doesn't target. So even if they K-command the Nadu, we do get a trigger. We're attacking them for 2, which is not the worst. And we have our mana under us for now. Again, if they like multi-Sowing Mycospawn, 3 Sowing Mycospawns and we don't have any land, even with the Wasteland prevention method that we've used in terms of fetching lots of base. In terms of ways we could win this, drawing a Plagon would be insane. That's fine. That doesn't really disrupt anything. They could name Stoneforge. Plagon is the best card to name here. They may name Nomad or something like that because they did null rod us. Just depends on how scared they are of Plagon or of Nadu winning. So we hit 4 in the air, assuming they don't have a way to deal with this. Harbinger of the Seas. Okay, so we're not going to be able to cast Harbinger of the Seas. They're coming in. Actually, we can cast we need 1 more mana to cast Harbinger of the Seas. All right, so options. 1, we just brainstorm here, see what we find before we attack. Okay, Stoneforge goes and gets Aegis. Aegis takes this out, and then we can make one of our creatures into that. I think that's worth it. Consign just stops. Let's see, they have Devourer of Destiny in their hand. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we actually hold up Devourer, and then we just attack for 7. And then next turn, this will get the bonus. I should have tapped differently. Now they can waste me off of blue and stop me from consigning. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That was dumb. That was a punt. We are going to have the mana to Stoneforge and Aegis next turn. Again, we're very far ahead, but they can't Devour and hit us. And if they tap that tomb, they're like putting themselves to dead. Okay, this could be a big K command. But like even just attacking with Stoneforge, I think we... what is our top card? Oh, I can just consign this. They screwed up. Okay, well, let's go ahead and let this trigger happen. Undo. Okay, trigger happens. Yeah, I can just counter this. I am going to, just in case they have like something I can cast with Replicate. I don't care about the mana here. Okay. Yeah, they just needed to waste me beforehand. So they punted even harder than I did. Got it. We got it. We're 5-1. Beating Eldrazi, not dropping a game. Screw Eldrazi. I'm so ready for Sowing Mycospawn to be banned, but we didn't face it this game, and that's probably why we won. All right. So yeah, we're currently 12th, I think, in the event. So we are still alive for top 8. We just have to not lose 3 more rounds. I'm gonna keep at it. Cheers. All right, round 7. We're up against a very experienced player who plays a lot of tempo decks. I think this is fine. This doesn't have a blue source is the main problem, but we could draw it, and we have Plow, we have Force. I like this hand. Yeah, I'm gonna hope to draw into a blue source. But like, if they're on Delver, this is a very good hand. Okay, they're the bad guy here today. Thoughtseize. Well, we're gonna lose. Yep, that not a lot can be done here, unfortunately, but we do have. I have a lot of skill in this matchup. If that's helpful, I'll play a card that they know about. Yeah, just thought I was gonna have a few turns. So they may have the 3-drop one, and maybe that's why they're thinking about because they need the mana to like. I could plow the 3-drop one before they can activate, so they know that. This comes in and. Yeah, I presume they're going to have a way. Yeah. So we get to see their deck at least. So they're not oops all spells. If you haven't noticed, this is like the kind of like probably the most annoying deck to play against in terms of just you basically have non-games. There's no window where I could have plowed. Let's take a look at their deck, and it's probably just a standard, but I let them go off just to see, like, it counts my it counts a lot of their cards for me. So I don't have to worry about counting the... is there a window where we can plow to keep them... Oh, wait a second. They get Poxwalkers. I think we're just dead. We could plow one of the Poxwalkers. I don't think that... we don't have... they're going to get Bridge from Below triggers. It doesn't matter. I will plow one of the Poxwalkers. I don't think it's going to do anything. Yeah, they can just flashback the third. Yeah, they have 3, so they can just get the... they only have 1 card in hand, and I see the Thassa's Oracle here. Do I see the Dread Return? I presume it's in there. They can always just put it on top of their deck. I actually don't see the Dread Return. It could be in their hand. They win. Okay, so I'm going to concede. Like, time doesn't matter in this matchup. It's not like me making them play it out is giving us a huge disadvantage. I mean, that game took like all of 3 minutes across our 2 clocks. Okay, so what we do, my philosophy against this deck is simple. Board in all your interaction, all your blue cards. So it's most helpful to just grab the entire deck here, aside from the Hydroblast. Put it over here. It's a big pile. We'll pull the Hydroblast out. And sometimes it actually is warranted to bring the Hydroblast in. Pre-war Formalware is not going to work here. We can just take a look at my list. This is not from the exact build that I'm playing, but I do have Oops right at the top. -4 Halfling, -4 Plow, -2 SFM, - Crocus. Yeah, they don't generally go after our mana. I can see Crocus being better than Savannah because there could be some situation where they play like a Traxa or something, or not a Traxa, Shieldred. We can take out all these mana dorks. They don't matter. We could leave some plows in just out of respect for their ability to kill us, but we do have Assimilation Aegis. I think plow is not as good as Prismatic Ending. I'll sometimes leave that in, but we do want to trim some of these cards for sure. I think we can trim a Stoneforge for sure. We can probably trim a plow for sure. We 2 plows. We do want to be able to close the game quickly, and Stoneforge does get us Assimilation Aegis as well, which is a win con. It's a blue card for force. I don't know if the best argument for keeping a non-blue card is, it can go get a blue card that can be used for... Yeah, I think I drop an ending. I think plow is more likely to be useful than ending. Let's think about it. Yeah. All 3 Harbinger, I mean, they're blue. Yeah, I guess I'll bring them in. Because Lock and Moth their mana might be useful. The main thing is here's how we mulligan. On the play, we're looking for a cage. And we can just aggressively do our thing until we get it. This doesn't work. You need mana. We mulligan this. So we're looking for 2 forms of interaction plus a cage, or just a cage. So this works, I think. So we cage, and then we have consign up for... Like, they could still win with like a turn 1 Belcher. But I think this is better than mulligan deeper. Cage is the best card against them. I'll put back Stoneforge Mystic. All right, now we're going to pass. They have a full 7 in their grip. They could have a creature plan. They could have a lot of stuff. Once upon a time. So on the draw, assuming we somehow win this game, I mean, we have our most powerful hate piece in play, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can't find something that destroys it. Shieldred. Okay, Shieldred. So I called it, and that is potentially what we're dealing with here. Unfortunately, if they just Shieldred turn 1, they're going to Shieldred turn 1. Yeah, this is pretty brutal because Brainstorm doesn't work. Yeah. So we need... I'm We need a white card, and a white source, and a plow. We need a lot of stuff. Brainstorm really hurts us. I think I do it though because we're going to take 4 every turn that we don't brainstorm. They still have 4 cards in their hand too. Yeah. So let's say hypothetically we brainstorm, we take 6. Then we take 4. We're a 2-turn clock. I think it's better to wait a turn just to see one more card. We have Consign Up if they follow up with something that we can actually counter. And now we have like the ability to do a land drop. I am tempted to consign that. I don't think we can sign this. Am I going to pay the penalty? Okay. Dark Ritual. Barracoif. Okay, so it didn't matter. Gosh. They just did like the full creature juke. Usually they don't do that against blue decks. To my credit. I'm not a fool, but I do sometimes lose to this deck. Okay. So here's what we need to do. We need to brainstorm. And we need to find a plow plus blue card. And then we need to maybe find 2 plows plus blue card. This is painful. Okay. We found a 3rd card that we can use to go get Nadu online, but it's going to be too late. Nadu can trade with Barracoif. I think this helps. So we're taking, how much are we taking? We're taking 6 plus, we're dead? I think we're just dead. Yeah, good games. That's frustrating as hell. All right, I'm going to drop the event. I don't want to keep playing. I know that like I can get better prizes if I stick with it, but I'm not going to top 8, and I want to take my kids swimming. So yeah, this has been a great video. It's sad to go out on that, but that is a 5-2 record. And yeah, I was 5th place, but now I'm definitely not. Like, I think the odds. Actually, let me show you this calculator. Okay, so here's the calculator. It's pretty cool. You punch in the number of players, which 285, 9 rounds, include draws, drawing probability 5%, sure. Guaranteed top 8 with 7 wins and 1 draw. Possible top 8 with 7 wins. So we can just see like how many people would be 7-2. At least 11 players, and our tiebreakers are not particularly good. So, we don't actually, there's 0 drawing probability. Let's recalculate this. Okay, so there will be 20 players with 7-2 records, and there will be 2 slots for those players. So we are basically guaranteed not to top 8, even if we played it out for another 2 rounds. And I could use this time and I could go swim laps with my kids. And I'm choosing to do that rather than take like a unlikely potential shot at getting in here. So yeah. Let's take a look at the deck. I mean, like, it sucks to lose to Oops. Like, I like to say that I'm like 60, I win like 60, 70% of the time against Oops, but Guib Banea is an insane player. Like, they're really strong. And yeah, they juked me. And it's like the double juke. Basically, like, you assume, okay, they wouldn't be crazy enough to bring in creatures against the Swords of the Plowshares, Force of Will deck. They're going to try to just out-combo me. And then they proceeded to do precisely that. And then my mulligan was based around the notion of them not doing what they did. So I got. Okay, let's take a look at the deck. The deck performed great. There was some piloting error. I think I punted the blue-black, it was the first blue-black reanimated round that I lost. I punted that. I could have held Shuko in hand, discarded it to the... let me get the deck up on the screen for you. I could have just discarded my Shuko, and then I would have had Aegis in play, and then Aegis copies or exiles Archon, and then I attack, and the Archon trigger helps me kill the Gristlebrand. However, I did not. I greedily played out this Shuko, not thinking, because I was like, oh, I got an extra mana. Totally dumb play. And then they proceeded to kill me. And I think I could have won that game, but I still would have needed to win game 3. They did still have a Gristlebrand that they could have activated and drawn a bunch of cards. So nothing's guaranteed, but I think I would have been in a pretty strong position with my own Archon on the table. So that was the only other loss other than the Oops All Spells, which you just saw, which was pathetic, and it sucks, but that does happen. Sometimes you just get Oops All Spelled. And I think the deck performed great. There aren't any changes I would make to it. I felt like we were well prepared for like the combo heavy meta. I felt like having 3 Harbingers was way better than having, 3 Consign and 2 Harbingers. I mean, Harbinger is just a great card. If Eldrazi, we'll see what happens with the banned announcement. But if Eldrazi gets banned out of existence, like Sowing Mycospawn is the card that makes that deck viable. I think we'll just be a tier 2 deck without it. And if that happens, we don't need to play Consign anymore. Yay. Like, I don't think Consign's worth playing outside of Eldrazi. I think people are jamming in their deck for Eldrazi. It's not like a great Force Negation is really good, just general purpose anti-combo. I think Force Negation is much better than Consign. So what I'll probably do, if it gets banned, if Sowing Mycospawn gets banned, is I'll take out the Consigns, and I'll replace them with, just good value green cards. Like, I could see putting in a Veil of Summer. I could see putting in maybe a Carpet of Flowers. I'd like to get Endurance in. We'll see whether they hit Entomb. They may not hit Entomb, which would be a mistake. But if they don't hit Entomb and they just hit Troll, which is very much a Band-Aid, just like banning Frog was a Band-Aid for, Entomb, then we're still going to have to deal with Blue-Black Reanimator being the top deck for another 3 months or so. And I will still be rocking the Grafdigger Station. I might have space to bring in Endurance. But I feel like right now control decks are being pulled in so many different directions. Being able to answer Oops All spells and also being able to answer Blue-Black Reanimator and Omnitel. Omnitel is going to be not going to get anything banned out of it. It's going to be a tier 1 deck for sure. I don't know if it'll be a broken tier deck like Blue-Black Reanimator, but it'll definitely be a tier 1 deck. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the bans, which happen in less than 24 hours. I'm going to try to get this out immediately so you can enjoy it before the bans. And I had a great time. Definitely encourage people, if they've got their points lying around, to do it. Store up some qualifier points. If you 4-1 a league, I think you get 2 qualifier points. And if you I think if you trophy a league, you get 5 or something like that. It's very hard to trophy a league, but it can be done. And getting 4-1s is more realistic. And yeah, you're also getting a lot of chests, so you can claw closer to break even or going infinite, as they say, which is a lot harder than people pretend it is. Like, people are like, oh, if you just have a 55% win rate, yeah. It's not just having a 55% win rate. It's not getting leagues where you go 0-2 or 2-3 or 1 where you or 1 or 0 wins. And I get those. Like, I got a league like that where I went 0-1 or 1-4. I got a league with almost this exact deck. I was doing a few other things. Like, I think this deck version was better. I think Hierarch does make it better. And I think Aegis makes it better. But even a deck that's routinely 4-1ing will occasionally 1-4 or 0-5. And Bosch and Roll has a video where he goes up. He's using Rescam. Before Grief was banned, he's got all the best cards, and he enters the league and he 0-5'd it. And he still published it, which kudos to him. I probably wouldn't publish a league where I go 0-5 because I just don't think it'd be very fun to watch. But he did that. And so the best player playing the best deck had the worst results. So it does happen. So all I would say is, if you're grinding these leagues, if you're going into these events, don't beat yourself up. If you just pathetically lose to Oops All spells, it does happen. And this is a game filled with variance. It's not chess where the best player always wins, basically. Not always, but you take some very high level chess players, you put them down, and generally the one who has the higher rating is going to win the game, right? That is kind of the case with this, but there's so much more variance and everything, and there's so much hidden information that's not there in chess. So don't beat yourself up. That is the parting wisdom from the Be Excellent channel. Don't beat yourself up if you have some bad runs, and don't start thinking, Magic, or, what the heck, I'm going to switch to just playing Moon Stompy. Don't get that stinking thinking when you're trying to rock a cool brew. This is a brew that 40076 and I have been working on. And yeah, don't get discouraged. Keep brewing, keep trying. Tony Scarponi has just he loses all the time, but then he goes on these crazy tears when he gets things just to click, and all that iteration is necessary to really get something to click. And going 5-2 in a tournament, I don't feel bad at all. These were some of the best players in the world, and we went up against some of the top decks. I think actually we faced almost all of the top decks. We faced Eldrazi, we faced Moon Stompy, we faced Blue-Black Reanimator twice, faced Oops All Spells, and I think we faced Delver. Yeah, so like basically pretty much all the best decks. We didn't play any rogue decks. This is exactly like people are saying, oh, leagues are not representative of what people play in real tournaments. Well, we just played a real tournament where it's like 100% what you're going to encounter in the leagues, which is, tryhards, spikes. And that's cool. It's fun to play against people who are serious. So, until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.